Hi everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice. Please give me a +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and everything is working fine. Then we'll start with the problem within 30 seconds as well. Today's problem is really interesting. It has been previously asked in Intuit. So, hi Rishit and hi Naikaj as well. Hi Gautam. Hi Amit Ranjan. So, a lot of people are there today. So, let's quickly share the screen and start with the discussion for the problem as well. Okay. So I'm just sharing my screen. Just let me know once it's visible. I hope that the screen is visible now. All right. So talking about this problem, previously this like basically what this problem says is you have to count the number of free cells. Okay. Now this problem previously has been asked in a company which is nothing but Intuit, right? So you can say that maybe it is the Facebook in financial sector. I have heard about this. So it has been asked in Intuit, right? So let's quickly start discussing this problem, guys. Please give me a +1 if the screen is also visible and hit the like button so that I can start. Okay. So I think everything is working fine as well. Okay. So see, basically, what does this problem first of all say? So it says that suppose you have a matrix that is of n cross n size, right? So it says that we have been given a matrix that is of n cross n size, first thing. Now, after that, the problem says that you have been given a value k. Okay. So what does this mean? So basically, you have been given some coordinates, some rows and columns. Like let's say you have been given r1 comma c1, right? Row 1 comma c1, r2 comma c2, something like this. Okay. So you have been given like this entry is one time, second time, third time. So k number of times you have been given these entries in form of a 2D array, you can say. Now, in this problem, it says that you have been given this integer k that consists of k cross two values, that is r and c values correspondingly, and you are given k task. Okay, so for each task you are given two coordinates, that is r comma c, let's say. So where r denotes the row and c denotes the current column. So you have to perform each task in one by one, and for each task you can put one in all the row r row and c column. What does this mean? So basically, if I will be given, let's say if I am given this particular grid, right? Let's say if I have been given this particular grid. So initially, obviously, this grid will be 0, 0, right? This is a n cross n size grid, which is nothing but 0 cross 0. Now let's see the marking. I think it is one based. Okay. So let us say that if I have been given r value as, let's say, something like 2, and I have been given c value as 3. So what I have to do is I have to choose r the second row, and I have to put everything one inside it. This is what you can see here. The task is to like you can see here, you have to put one in all the rth row and all the cth columns, right? So basically r is equal to 2. Let's say this is r is equal to 2, so you have to put one here, right? So you'll put one here. Let's put one here, right? You'll put one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Then for c is equal to 3 also you'll do the same. So this is c is equal to 3, so you'll put one here, one here, one here, one here. Is that clear to everyone? Please tell me, guys. This is what you have to do when you have been given entry like 2 comma 3, that is r comma c. Then in the rth row you have to put all the ones, and in the cth column you have to put all the ones. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Please tell me. Is it clear? Now, after every operation, like after every operation of r comma c, you have to tell that, okay, what are the number of free cells here? So what is the number of free cells here, guys? Can you tell me? Like I think 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so what is the number of free cells here? Anyone can tell me? Anyone can tell me what is the number of free cells here? Obviously you can see that 25 cells were in total, right? So total number of cells were n cross n. Now can I say this thing, that if I color a particular row, right? So if you will see here, this particular length is what? This particular length is n, right? The number of rows is what? N. The number of columns is also n. So if I am going to color the rth row, let's say r is equal to 2 with all the cells as 1. If I'm going to put all the cells there 1, right? So in that case, one row is there. Okay, this particular one row is there, which I am putting all where I'm putting all the ones, right? So can I say that the number of ones that I'm putting is 1 cross n, right? In this case, in the row. Similarly, in the column also, you will observe that there are n ones that I'm putting here, right? So again, you'll say that, okay, 1 cross n for the columns, right? Let's say because I have only one row that is all one and one column that is all one after this operation, right? But in this case, can I say that I'm counting one thing twice? What do you think? I am counting the number of cells that are having ones, right? What is the total number of free cells, right? Total number of cells that have 0. So total number of cells that have 0 is what? Total number of cells that have 0 is nothing but total number of cells in the grid minus what? Minus the number of cells that are having 1. So that will be what? The count of the rows that are having ones, right? So in this case, I will say that, okay, it is going to be nothing but 1 cross n. One row is having all the n values, one column is having all the one n values. But this particular thing I'm counting twice. Please write yes. Please write +1 in the chat. This particular area is something that I'm counting twice. Please write 2 in the chat. Are you getting my point, guys? If I am counting it like this, right? If I'm counting that, okay, these are the ones that I have, and these are the ones that I have. So in this case, I am counting this thing twice. Is that clear? That I'm counting this particular thing twice, right? So that is why I need to subtract it. Please write minus in the chat. I need to subtract this thing, right? So here I'll subtract only 1 from this place. That is, 1 row is there, okay, 1 column is there. So I'm going to subtract 1 cross 1. That is nothing but 1. Is this point clear to everyone? Guys, please tell me. Is it clear? Is this point clear? So basically, the number of cells that will have, basically in this case, if you will observe, so what can I say? Let's say after this, I play another operation. So let's say after that, what I give you is, I give you R is equal to, let's say something like 2, okay? And I give you C is equal to, okay, let's take R is equal to 3 now. Let's say R is equal to 2 and C is equal to now 2 as well, okay? So basically R is equal to 2 is already colored with 2, right? So in this case, you will not color it. Then after that, C is equal to 2. So you'll color. So this is the column 2, right? So after that, you'll color this as, like you will have all the cells as 1. So this will be 1. Okay. This will be marked as 1. This will be marked as 1. This will be marked as 1. Okay. Now, if you will see, so what is the number of cells that are 0? In this case, you have to count that, okay, what are the number of free cells? So what are the number of cells that are free, that are 0, you can say. So in this case, that will be nothing but total number of cells, right? Total cells in the grid minus number of cells having 1, right? Having 1. Okay. So what are the total number of cells here? Total number of cells is nothing but n square, right? Guys, you can hit the like button if you have understood till now. Have you understood till now? So basically, the total number of cells will be what? N square, right? Total number of cells in this grid will be n square minus what? Minus what are the total number of rows that I am that are having 1? Can you tell me? Total number of rows that are having 1 is just 1 row. Now, please write 1 in the chat. This particular row is only having 1. Now, this particular row, if you will see, so this particular row is only having ones in it. Okay, so there is only 1 row. So you can say that, okay, 1 into n minus 1 into n, right? And then after that, what are the total number of cells that are having 1? So this particular cell and this particular cell. So all of them are having n ones inside them, right? So one cell is having n ones inside them. This cell is also having 1. So there are 2 cells. So plus 2 into n, right? Plus 2 into n. Now by doing this, what is the scenario? By doing this, the thing that has happened with us is, if you will see here, so by doing this, what I've done is I've counted all the ones, right? So you will see that, okay, I've counted this, but I've counted this. But can I say that I've counted something twice? What do you think, guys? Like, if you will observe clearly, so can I say that I have counted this much segment twice, like multiple times? What do you think? Is that clear? They have been counted for the row as well as the column. This particular portion that I'm highlighting, this particular thing has been counted multiple number of times. You have to do BFS. I don't think that you require BFS, because if you will do BFS Aditya, then that will not work, right? So now these are the ones that you are having. Now, since these are the ones that you are having, so how many ones are there in the same part? So basically, the number of rows, R is equal to 1 and column is equal to 2, right? So if you will do R into C, so that is nothing but 1 into 2. So basically, there are 2 cells that are there that are overlapping. So minus the number of cells that are overlapping, minus R into C, you can say that is the number of rows that are having ones and the number of columns. So in that case, this will be nothing but minus 1 into 2. Is that clear? Yes, you should subtract 2. That is what we are doing. Is that clear to everyone? Please tell me, guys. Please let me know. Is that clear to everyone? Make sense? So that is what we need to do here. Basically, the number of free cells after a particular iteration will be nothing but what? It will be nothing but n square, the total number of cells, minus R cross n plus C cross n minus R cross C. Is it clear? Okay, Naika is saying plus 1. What about others? Others are also clear with this. If you are clear, please hit the like button if you are clear with this. If there is something that is not clear, please tell me. Is everyone clear with this? The total number of free cells will be what? The total number of free cells will be nothing but n square. That is the total number of cells minus the number of cells that are having value 1. So the number of cells that are having 1 is all the rows that are having, like, if there is one row that is having all the ones, so total number of rows that are having all ones, so that is nothing but R cross n total number of columns that are having all the ones, so that is C cross N, minus what? Okay, Gautam is saying not clear. Minus R cross C, that is the number of rows into columns. Okay, I'll tell you. Suppose that it happens like, okay, let's see this part. All right, so just give me a second. Let's see this again. Okay, so if everyone others are clear, then they can hit the like button and give me a +1. Others are clear with this part? Please tell me, guys. See, if you will observe here in this particular region, so let's say that if I after this, if I have another operation, so let's say what I do is I put this thing. Let's say I'm having ones here also, right? So there are two rows. Let's say I have three rows that are having one. Okay, so let's say 1 1 1. Okay, so now how many rows are there? How many total number? What is the total number of rows that are having ones? Can you tell me, guys? Let's say after this state, I'm asking that, okay, what are the total number of rows that are having one? Okay, so this, if you will see this, then this, and then this. Okay, so basically there are three rows that are having one. So now see this row, this row, this row. But for each k, we have ones in single row. Yeah, single column. So you have to take two columns. Have you? Yes, I'm just thinking that, okay, let's say if I'm at some intermediate iteration, right? So in that case, let's say if this is the scenario in between, so what are the total number of rows that are having ones? Three rows are there, right? So three rows are there. So let's say our value is let's say the total number of count of rows is three that are having ones at this stage. What are the total number of columns that are like? So in this case, if this is n, like one row is having, if you will see, there are total three rows that are having ones, right? So if one row is there, okay, one row will have n n's, like n ones, right? So three rows will have 3 cross n ones, right? So basically in that case, I'm counting this, all this n's, all this n's, and all this n's, right? These n's I'm counting. Like if I'll tell you, so these n's I'm counting, then these n's and these n's. Is that clear to everyone? Right? This thing we are counting. So once you count this thing up, in that case, what happens? In that case, this is not what, like R value is what? 3. So this is R cross n, right? R cross n. Plus, what are the total number of columns? So these are ones, okay, and these are ones. So total columns are what? Total two columns are there that are having n ones, right? Total two columns are there that are having n ones. If two columns are there, so if one column is having total n ones, so two columns are there that are having ones inside them. So total will be what? For two columns, it will be 2 cross n, right? So it will be 2 cross n. So that means C cross n. Is that clear? C cross n. Is that clear? So that is why this is going to be C cross n. Now after this part is done, so if you will observe, so here the total number of rows that are having this is 3. Total number of columns that are having ones is 2, let's say. Okay, so in that case, if you will observe, so I've counted something multiple number of times. What I've counted multiple number of times? By doing this, can I say this thing? That I've counted this region multiple number of times. What do you think, guys? Please tell me. These ones are counted multiple number of times. Please tell me. They are counted in form of row as well as columns, na? Is that clear? Gautam, is that clear to you as well? Okay, so these will be the number of ones that I've counted multiple number of times, because these ones have been, if you will observe, so they have been counted, like if you will see here, so if you will see here with a different color, so see these ones are there and these things were there. So indirectly you can see that this region has been counted multiple number of times, okay, which is something that you don't want. So if you don't want to count something multiple number of times, so you have to subtract it. So basically this is the region that you have to subtract. So that is nothing but R cross C. That is nothing but 3 cross 2, because 6 cells are counted multiple number of times, right? So in that case, you have to subtract this thing. That is nothing but R cross C. Okay, so these are the total number of cells that are having 1. Okay, if you will see here, so basically in this grid, total number of cells that are having 1 is what? 3 cross n value is what? 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so 3 cross, like that will be 15 plus this thing, 15 plus 10 minus 6. So if you will observe, that is nothing but 25 minus 6. So just a second, I can see. Okay, that is nothing but 19, I think, right? 1 2 3 4 5 15 16 17 18 19. Yeah, 19 cells are there that are having ones inside them. Okay, so in this case, if you will subtract it from the total, that is n square minus this thing, so 25 minus 19, that will give you 6 cells that are empty, right? You can see that this cell is empty, 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 and this cell is empty. Is that clear, guys? Please tell me, is this formula clear to everyone at a particular state? If R is telling me the number of rows that have been filled with ones, and C is telling me the current number of columns that are filled with ones, so basically at a particular given stage, the number of free cells will be nothing but the total number of cells, that is nothing but n square, minus the total number of cells that are having 1. So total number of cells having 1 is nothing but r into n plus c into n minus r cross c. Okay, how to count multiple ones? So I have reduced it now. I'm not counting multiple ones. Basically, this thing, this thing, this thing, then this, and then this. So basically, this region was there that I was counting multiple number of times. So that I have removed. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Please tell me. Formula is clear, right? So what can I do here? Please hit the like button, guys, if the formula is clear. Is the formula clear? Please hit the like button. Okay. So Amit is clear. What about others? I think others are also clear. Naikaj and Rishit are also clear, I think. All right. So see, basically you have to store after every change, you have to store the final answer, right? So see, what you can do is you can have a vector, let's say long int, right? And let's name it as the final answer that will be storing the answer. Okay, Astha Tripathi is also clear. Now, once you have this, so this will be storing all the answers, right? For all the possible, like for all, after every iteration, you'll be counting this thing, right? So in this case, what can we do? Like basically, we can have a map unordered, right? Why we are having a map? Basically, whenever you color a row, like map will store what? So map is like, let's say I'll have a map. So I'll have a map for the row and the column, right? So let's say you color this particular row. Okay, with like you, let's say you in this row you mark all the ones, right? So let's say r is equal to 2. Now you are marking it as 1, right? In this, every guy is being marked as 1. So basically that I'll store in the map, that okay, the second column has been marked, right? Second row has been marked. Then after that, when you color this row as well, then I'll color this as well. Okay, then I'll mark that okay, this row has been marked. Then after that, when you color this row as well, like when you put all the ones in this row as well, so I'll mark it. So basically, when I'll take out the size of the map for the row, okay, so it will come out to be what, 3, na? Are you getting my point? Size of the row map will be what, 3, because 3 there are 3 different cells. There are 3 different rows that have been colored with 1. Okay, that have been colored with 1. So that is why I can directly take the size of the map, and that will tell me the unique number of rows that have been colored with 1. Is that clear? That is what I require now. So that will give me this number. Is that clear, guys? Please tell me. Is it clear? Asta Tripathi, is that clear? Gautam, is that clear? So that is why I'm going to take an unordered map, and let's take it in this format. So let's say int comma int. Okay, now what we will do is we'll have it for the row, okay, and for the columns as well. So now what we will do is we'll simply start iterating. So for int I starts from 0, I is lesser than n, then I'll do an I plus plus, right? Now after that, what we will do is, sorry, I is lesser than k, I should say, right? So for all the k values, I'll be iterating. So let's say int current row that I want to color. So let's say current row that I want to color with all the ones will be what? The current row that I want to color with all the ones will be array of I 0, right? In any entry, the first thing that I'll get is the current row that I want to color with 1. Okay, and similarly the current column that I want to color with this thing. Would unordered set work? You can use unordered set also. I'm using unordered map. That is what I like normally. So if you want, you can use that also, right? So but you don't need the keys as sorted. That is why I'm using this, right? So let's say this is the current row and this is the current column. So inside the map, what I will do is inside the row map, okay, inside this row map, what I will do is I'll say that okay, this current row has been done what? This current row is being colored with all the cells as 1, right? So I'll increase its count, and similarly I'll say that okay, inside the column map as well, I'll say that okay, this is the current column that has been colored. So I'll increase its frequency. Is that clear? Now once I have it, right? Once I have it, so I'll say that okay, let's take out the count of the rows that are now I will count the total number of rows that are colored with 1, right? Still now, so I can say that value will be r. So in this case, if this value is going to be r, so what can I say? Let's see. If this is r, then I will simply say that I'll take the row size. That will uniquely tell me, right? So that will tell me the number of rows that have been colored with 1. Okay, and similarly I'll say that okay, c is nothing but column size of the column map, and that will tell me nothing but the total number of columns that have been colored with the color as 1. Okay, then after that I'll say that okay, in current answer, or let's say I can say it as temporary variable, or let's say value, uh, like let's say number of free cells, right? Number of free cells will be what? The number of free cell will be nothing but total number of cells, that is nothing but n cross n minus r into n, as I discussed, r into n plus c into n minus r cross c. Is that clear? And then I will simply put this number of free cells inside my answer. So I'll say that okay, answer dot push back nothing but this particular value. Is that clear to everyone? Let's take it as long int. That will be better. Let's take this as long int as well, and let's take this as long int as well. Okay, then I'll push this number of free cells after this particular count. Okay, and in the end I'll obviously return the final answer. So Naikaj is saying why we use map for knowing how many columns, yeah, how many unique, definitely. Like basically, why am I using this thing? Because see, let's say that if I had this particular grid, okay, let's say that if I had this, let me draw another grid, okay. So let's say that if I had this particular grid, right? Let's say that I had a 5 cross 5 grid of something this of this type, right? 1, 2, and then 3, and I have another value as 4, right? 1, then 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so now let us say that if in one operation someone tells me that okay, like in the first operation they tell me that okay, let's paint the row number 2, okay, and the column number 3. So basically what I will do, I'll paint this as 1 1 1 1 1, and then I'll paint this as 1 1 1, right, the third column. Okay, after that let's say someone tells me that okay, paint the second, after that I'll calculate. Okay, so when I'll calculate, so total number of cells will be what, like n square minus r cross n, right, minus basically the number of rows that have been colored with 1 and columns, right, that I will have. Now let's assume a intermediate scenario. So let's say after that what I do is I have this as something like 5 cross 5 like let's take it as 3 comma 3. Okay, now let's take this as 3 comma 3. Now let's say someone tells me to do this, right? So third row will be colored with 1, right? So third row everyone is colored with 1, and third column is obviously colored with 1. Please write +1, please write plus 1. In this case if you will see, so third column is already colored with 1. Yes or no, guys? Please tell me. Okay, so basically what has happened now is in the row map, okay, in the row map what has happened, I have already stored 2 and 3. Okay, in the row map 2 is stored and 3 is stored, and in the column map only 3 is stored. Okay, because only one column has been colored. Is that clear? So that is why if I'm having this particular counter, so basically the size, what is the size here? The row map size is 2 and the column map size is 1, because there are two different unique rows that have been colored with 1, and there is only one unique column that has been colored with 1. Is that clear? So now if I want to know the number of cells that are free, basically if I want to know the number of cells that are nothing but 0, right, if I want to know the number of cells that are nothing but 0, so let's say this is the r value, okay, this is the c value, so that will be nothing but n square minus the number of rows, the number of unique rows that are, if in one row there will be n cells that are colored, right, in one row there are n cells that are colored with n, so in r rows there will be r cross n cells, right? So if there are two rows, so there will be basically these much cells that are colored. Okay, so r cross n minus in one like plus, what I can say, plus in one column there'll be n cells that are colored, right? So you can see that there's, like, if the c value is 1 here, so in one column there'll be n rows, right, that are colored. Like in one column there are n cells that are colored, so in c there are c cross n. All right, so in such a circumstance what is going to happen here is this will be c cross n. Okay, but in this case I'll say that okay, I have calculated this twice, right? Please give me a +1. In that case I'll say that okay, these cells are counted twice. Why? Because if you will observe, like if you will look from this perspective, so basically these cells are there that have been counted with multiple number of times, right? So in that case I need to subtract them, right? Because I have much more counter than expected. So in that case I'll subtract what, r cross c, because if total two rows are there, two unique rows are there that are colored with 1, and one unique column is there, so basically r cross c is 1, so r cross c, that is two cells are there that are counted again, so that is why I'm subtracting this value. Is that clear? So basically the map is going to tell me the number of the total unique rows, the number of unique rows when I'll take the size of the map, right? So it will tell me the unique rows that have been colored, and when I'll take the column, so it will tell me the number of unique columns. Is that clear? Please tell me. If you are clear, please give me a +1. Let's say Astha, Gautam, and Rishat, Naikaj, Rag, Yadav. Others are also clear? Please tell me. Let me try and compile it. I hope it should work on the samples. Okay, it works on the samples. Let's try and submit it as well. Okay. So yeah, it gets accepted. So is this point clear to everyone? Basically what my R and C are telling, are you clear with this? R is telling me the number of unique rows till a particular point. What are the total number of unique rows? Let's say till a particular point, if you have colored the row number, let's say 3, let's say you have colored the row number 4, 5 and 6, okay, with the color as 1, okay, and let's say you have colored the column number 6 and 7 with the color as 1, okay, let's say 5 and 6 with the color as 1, okay. So in this case, 3 rows are there that are colored with 1, right? So that the size will tell me that okay, there are 3 unique rows. Map size will tell me that okay, what are the number of unique keys, right? So it will tell me that okay, 3 rows are there, 3 unique rows are there that are all of them are colored with 1, and 2 unique columns are there, right? And 2 unique columns are there, right? So it will tell me 2 unique columns are there, and based on that I can take out the final value. Make sense, everyone? Yes or no? Please tell me. Is it clear to everyone, guys? Okay. This point is clear. If you are clear, please hit the like button, guys. I'll highly request that if you are clear with the formula and everything, so you can hit the like button. So that is what my map is going to tell, that okay, what are the number of unique rows that have been colored. Like if you will see, so when I'll take the map size, let's say in the first instance I color this row 3, second also I color this row 3 with 1. So in that case my column is going to have only one value, now only one unique value. So it will show the size as 1. It will tell me that okay, there's only one unique column that has been colored with 1. Okay, so that is why the C value will be only 1. So now at this instance, what will happen after these operations? You can see here, like this, these are the ones and these are the ones. So total number of rows are what? Total number of unique rows are 2, right? So total number of unique rows are 2. So that is why if one row will have n cells, right? So 2 rows will have how many? Like R rows will have how many? R cross n cells as colored with 1, right? So that is why I'm taking this as R cross n, right? And the number of columns that are colored is C cross n minus R cross C. Is that clear, guys? Please hit the like button if you are clear. Everyone is clear with this idea? Okay. So I'll just quickly share the code with all of you as well so that you can have a look at it later on. If everyone is clear, you can write clear in the chat once again, okay? Yeah, no, I'm taking order of n space. Obviously, I'm using the map. Okay. So let me share this link with all of you as well. Okay, so is everyone clear finally with this question as well? I hope that everyone was overall clear. This was asked in Intuit and it was a quite easy problem. You have to like every time you color a row with 1, right? So you can mark it inside the map, and you color a column with 1, you can mark it inside the column map. And then if you want to find, so you can find the total number of unique rows that have been colored with 1. You can find the total number of unique columns that have been colored with 1. The number of free cells will be what? N square minus R cross n, the number of unique rows that have been colored with 1 into n. One row will have n cells, so R rows will have R cross n cells. One column will have n cells, so C columns will have C cross n, minus the number of overlapping that you have counted multiple number of times, that is minus R cross C. So these are the total number of, this formula is telling me the total number of cells that are having value 1, and and subtracting it with total number of cells, that will tell me the total number of free cells. Okay. No, it is going to be order of k in this case. Now I'm not taking any extra, like I'm like map is constant operation for us, Devansh Agarwal. The map is going to take constant operation for us, so it will be order of k only, right? I'm just running this loop. Map is a very efficient data structure internally, so that will take constant time for insertion and telling me the size. Okay, Devansh. Yeah, it is order of k only, no? Because I'm just iterating through this whole order of k loop, nothing else. And I'm taking like size as well, so you can see here basically I'm taking this much size if you will see, so I'm taking order of n size for the row array plus order of n size for the column array. Sorry, I'm taking this much size for the row map, right? This size for the column map plus order of k size for the final answer vector or the list, you can say, right? Okay. So I hope that everyone has understood this problem properly. In case if you have any doubts, so make sure to comment that down. And if you have understood till now, so make sure to hit the like button and give me a +1 in the chat as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next live session. Till then, good night, take care, and keep coding, guys. Keep solving the problem of the day every day.